Okay, good evening everyone and welcome to the online webinar. So we have arranged this webinar on the occasion of World Wetlands Day. As you know, every year World Wetlands Day is celebrated on the 2nd of February, and as an Envis resource partner on Avon Ecology, Bombay Natural History Society, we have organized this webinar. And the theme for this year's World Wetland Day is Wetlands Action for People and Nature. So the topic is in accordance with the theme. It's community conservation at Chilika Wetland. And our expert speaker today is Mr. Tuhinanshu Kar. I will introduce about him in the further slide. So to give you a bit background about ENVIS and BNHS, so ENVIS is basically Environmental Information System, and it was established in BNHS in 1996, and it's supported by our Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change, and there are a lot of aims that ENVIS does, like a lot of duties that we have. So we publish Buceros we have 3 issues every year, and it comes with a lot of information that is packed with articles, different news, national and international news. And we also upload our data banks on the website. So when you check out our website after the webinar or whenever you want to, you can see that we have a lot of database on Avon ecology. And we also work on query response. That is, we get a lot of queries regarding Avon ecology, and we try to solve them through WhatsApp, email, etc. And we also conduct a lot of workshops and courses for the participants. And we do a green skill development program which conducts courses throughout different places where we train. uh, Sorry, can you please mute the mic, madam? Thank you. And last but not the least, we also work on grids, that is grid based decision support system. And as you know, BNHS is Bombay Natural History Society, is one of the oldest natural history organizations in Asia, and it works for conservation, education, and research. And you can also check out more about Bombay Natural History Society by visiting the website. To introduce about our speaker today, it's Mr. Tuhinanshu Kar, and he's a wildlife researcher, and he specializes in studying the breeding ecology, population dynamic, and conservation of water birds. So he has also published a lot, lot in scientific literature in national and international journals, and also is an author on a few books. So as he's passionate about wildlife conservation, he has completed his MSc, and then he did his MPhil in biodiversity and natural resource conservation. As of now, he's pursuing his PhD in zoology and is also a researcher at the ornithological research program with the Chilika Development Authority. So now I would just request our speaker to share his presentation, and we can start with today's webinar. Uh, Handing over to you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Am I audible, Gargi?
Yes, yes, you are audible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. My presentation is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Gargi.
Yes, it is. Please, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Please continue, sir. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. So, I am Tuhinanshu Kar. Actually, I am a PhD scholar in Department of Zoology, Ravenshaw University, as well as a researcher in Ornithological Research Program, Chilika Development Authority. Thank you so much, Gargi, for this offer and entire team, which is responsible and for organizing this beautiful event, beautiful webinar on the occasion of World Wetland Day. So there is, as you know, this community conservation areas are part of biodiversity conservation and is very much helpful in conserving the local biodiversity since so many years. It's not like like decades or something. So it's really a very much important way to conserve our biodiversity. So if we will discuss what is community conserve areas, so basically three things that comes in our mind. This first is community, second is conservation, and third thing is area. So community is basically a group of people which are geographically, cultural, and traditionally linked and sharing an interest in conservation of natural resources, particularly ecosystems or any kind of species. So it's maybe following some religious effects, such as some taboos, such as some sociological rules, or kind of some for their livelihood, they are conserving a particular ecosystem or a particular habitat or a particular species. So if we define conservation, then conservation comes under a particular maintenance of a ecosystem or a habitat or any kind of area for the cultural or ecological or any kind of political motivation for aim of with an aim of management of a particular species or a particular habitat. So if we define area, then it may any kind of selected site where conservation values are implemented within a particular boundary or within a particular geographical area. So that is called community conservation areas. As you can see, here is the picture of a black buck, male and female, within a rice paddy field. So it is from Odisha and it's from Buguda Conservation Area of Ganjam district. So you can see black bucks and freely roam here, and they can they're within the paddy field and within the local community are particularly responsible for the protecting of the species. And the second image of it is the mass nesting of olive ridley. This is also from a Ganjam area. That is from you can say that is Gokharkuda, one place is there, which is a community conserve area, and they are particularly maintaining a species. Also Buguda also they are on maintaining a species, that they are conserving a species, that is black buck, and this area is responsible for the conserving this breeding olive ridley turtle. Similarly, the third picture you can see that this is from Mangalajodi. The about I am going to talk, that is a Mangalajodi community conservation area. This is a very famous area, very famous bird watching site for many of the bird watchers. So they are maintaining or they are conserving but migratory birds as well as breeding resident birds. So what is why these community conservation areas were formed? So this community conservation area, or in which way these community conservation areas are responsible for the protection of our biodiversity. Community conservation areas are responsible for the protection of forest. So here the examples of from Odisha only. As I am referring, as we are going to discuss on Chilka wetland, which is coastal lagoon of Odisha. So here I am representing the examples of basically from Odisha only. So for protection of forest, this is some example like Akmalik Community Conserve Area of Angul district, Baghamunda Community Conserve Area of Puri district, Bhalupahad Community Conserve Areas of Korapur district. These community conserve where communities are conserved, particularly forest. So specifically for protection of wetlands, coastal and marine habitats, a few examples are Dhamra Community Conserve Areas of Pradak district, Mangalajodi Community Conserve Areas of Khurda district. Here people are community are conserving wetlands, coastal and migratory birds. Particularly in Dhamra, they are protecting mangroves And in Mangalajodi Community Conserve areas, they are protecting wetland birds. As I said, some community conserve areas are responsible for the protection of individual species. So example is Gokarkuda Community Conserve Area and Buguda Community Conserve Areas of Panjam district. They are responsible for protecting of black bugs, olive turtle and black bug. And another way of conserving species or conserving habitat, that is sacred sites in the form of sacred sites or the sacred groves. So there is a very famous place in Koraput district that is known as Kontabausani, where particularly bamboo species are worshipped in the form of Devi Durga. So it is a very sacred site also. So lots of bamboos are protected there. Similarly, there are a lot of areas which are found particularly maintained in the form of sacred groves or in the form of sacred sites since so many decades, since so many years, for religious belief or any kind of taboos or something. So this is the map of community conserve areas in Odisha. So I have taken this map from community conserve areas of Odisha and Madhya Pradesh, a directory from UNDP India, published by UNDP India. So this is a particular map where you can see that there is, as I said, there is 3 community conserve areas nearer to Chilka wetland. So one is for migratory waterbirds, another is for conservation of black buck, and the next one is conservation of olive sea turtle. So now I'm going to discuss something about this, just going to a quick introduction for Chilka. As you know, Chilka is the largest brackish-water lagoon of Asia, and it is situated in the east coast of India, and particularly it is connected with the Bay of Bengal. So technically it is a lagoon, not a lake, as we popularly known as it is a Chilka lake kind of thing. So it extends over 3 districts of Odisha, that is Puri, Khurda and Ganjam. It is particularly the huge saltwater lagoon spreading over 906 to 1165 square kilometer, depending upon the seasons. So its depth also varies from 41 to 448 centimeters, and the width of the lakes also varies from 5 kilometer to 18 kilometer. And coming back to salinity of the lake, so it is also coming under 0 to 32 ppt, and it is alkaline in nature. It's lake water is alkaline in nature. So it is also pH range is also now 6.0 to 8.5. And based on particularly as I said, based on the water quality or hydrological quality, this Chilka lagoon is divided into 4 sectors. So one is northern sector, another is central sector, next one is another southern sector, and fourth one is the outer channel sector. So outer channel sector is highly saline in nature, and it is connected to the Bay of Bengal, and northern sector is particularly a freshwater region, which is actually Chilka lagoon is freshwater. Chilka lagoon is coming from 52 rivers and rivulets. So major freshwater source for Chilka lagoon is Mahanadi. So and its distributaries and others are so many tributaries are responsible for contributing the freshwater to Chilka lake. So southern sector is particularly saline water zone, and this central sector is the mix of brackish, southern saline water as well as fresh water. That's why it's formed a brackish water region here. So as you know, the famous Nalabana bird sanctuary is inside the central sector. You can see that as a small island inside the Chilka Lagoon. So that is the Nalavana Bird Sanctuary. So here is the quick introduction to the biodiversity of Chilka Lake. Chilka Lake is the home for so many species, so many biodiversity. As you know, it's famous for bird and famous Irrawaddy dolphins. So from BNHS study, it is revealed that 228 species of birds are there, but are residing inside the Chilka Lagoon. As you know, the famous ornithologist of India, pioneer ornithologist of India, Dr. S. Balachandran, and under his dynamic supervision, he revealed the 228 species and near about 49 species of species which are residing inside the lagoon or wintering inside the lagoon, which is more than 1% of biogeographical species. So fish of 336 species, prawns are 29 species, crabs are 35 species, reptiles are 30 species, mammals of 18 species, including vulnerable fishing cat and also Eurasian otters and smooth-coated otters. Like amphibians, also 7 species, mollusca of 136 species, zooplanktons of 170 species, phytoplanktons of 399 species, algae of 22 species, and plants of 884 species. So, as I said, the Mangalajodi Community Conserve Area, where particularly they are conserving migratory birds. They are conserving the resident bird, particularly water birds. This is not a part of Chilka Lake, but it is the marshland just outside the Chilka Lake. So as you can see, Chilka Lake boundary is there, but Mangalajodi Community Conserve Area just outside, little bit outside of the lake boundary. So coming back to the administrative point of view, Mangalajodi area is coming under a Tangi block of Khordha district, and it is also coming under Tangi range of Chilka Wildlife Division. It is also home for 400 households, and population is more than 4,500. And particularly, so people are based. So many people, basically livelihood structures. As you know, these are mainly fishermen. Some of people are working for outside Odisha as a wage labor, Odisha as wage laborers, and mostly people do fishing. So fishermen in nature. And as it is an important bird area of category A1 plus A4I plus A4 triple I. So it is particularly this wetland extends over 1900 hectares. As you can see, people are busy in fishing, and this is a basic income of their livelihood or their basic source of income. So if we coming to migratory the water bird diversity, so it is a home to 75 species of water bird, and the total population is what resides over more than 1.5 lakhs during the winter, and more than 15 species of birds breeds here in the monsoon as well as in the summer. Such as the resident breeders are there, like graded swamp hens, oriental pratincles, like common moorhen, bronzine jacana, pheasant-tailed jacana, yellow bitterns, cinnamon bitterns. So these are like species which are breeding over here. And talking, if we coming back to the globally threatened species, which are residing inside the Mangalajodi Mangalajodi Community Conservation Area. So these are like ferruginous dogs, falcated dog, black-tailed godwit, Eurasian curlew, spot-billed pelican, oriental darter, painted storks, woolly-necked stork, black-headed ibis, as well as vulnerable river terns. So as you can see, two species are vulnerable. One is river tern and second one is the woolly-necked stork, and rest of the species are near threatened. So you can imagine how this community conserve area or Mangalajodi area is important for the waterbird conservation. So these are like boon for bird watchers. These are like very good areas for bird watching, or something that it is resides more than 2 lakhs bird and of 75 species. So you can see in the images that Eurasian curlew is there, ferruginous dog is there, and river terns are there, black-headed ibis are there, and spot-billed pelican, oriental darter, black-tailed godwit, as well as the painted stork. So here is the image of falcated teal, which is sighted last year in 2021 also. So coming back to the population. So population of this threatened species, as we reported in between 2018 to 2022, the ferruginous dog population is more than 350, and falcated dog population we reported, as I said, we reported it last year only, and it's really home to the migratory bird black-tailed godwit. So more than 20,000 bird congregation was over here. Also, Eurasian curlew population reported just 100, and population of spot-billed pelican also reported like 70. Population of oriental darter we recorded is 40, and of painted stork we reported it's 400. Population of woolly-necked stork this last year also we reported 1, and this year also that is a rare migratory migrating bird to the Chilka Lake also. So we reported only 2 in numbers, and the resident population of black-headed ibis we reported more than 2,500, and population of river tern, which is really vulnerable, as well as this breeding resident also reported also a local migratory bird to the Chilka Lake. That is population is reported 150 from this particular marshland. So just for the history and origin of the Mangalajodi community conserve area in 1970s, say a person named Nandakishore Bhujbal, once he just observed that someone is killing a bird which is with his there is a twig inside the nest, inside the beak of the bird. So that one person killed that bird, and he is coming back to the home. That time that person, Nandakishore Bhujbal, asked to that person, why you kill this bird? So he just asked that I am going to sell it and I will generate some income, I will generate some money, and then I will go to my home. So that time he just asked, if you are going to sell this bird, then you will hardly get only 50 rupees or 70 rupees, like something at that time. But if you are going to if you are going to show them, then you can income more than this. So that man is curious, and that man was curious and then asked how. Then learn the bird, try to identify those birds. He just said, and this particular incident give an impression in his mind, and that Nandkishore Bhujbal, he just try to into just teach identification of birds, identification, and to show the birds, like, and to like he just like to teach the bird identification or something to this, and they and fortunately those people are learned also a lot about bird identification. And since 2001, the Chilka Development Authority, Forest Department and Tourism Department of Government of Odisha promote this place as an ecotourism center. So here you can see that those members of Mahabir Pakshi Suraksha Samiti. And this Mahabir Pakshi Suraksha Samiti is origin because of the effort of that person, Nandkishore Bhujbal. So he just try to teach them by the identification, and these are now incoming in thousands, incoming in a particular season, and then now they are now a wonderful bird guide, and they can identify all the bird, all the migratory water bird, resident water bird. So they're like generating income in a particular season, and more than 70 guides are working here as bird guide. So this is how the Mahabir Pakshi Suraksha Samiti is just started, and the wonderful organization and a wonderful ecotourism group they have just formed in the therefore also government also recognized his work. Say you can just see he, like, you can go there, and for bird safari you can just book a boat, and within 1200 to 1500 charges you can get a boat for bird watching and for bird photography. That's why this is the famous bird watching site of the not only in Odisha but also in India. Also you can say so many foreigners also visiting this place to see birds nearer to the boats. So that person in white shirt is Nandkishore Bhujbal, and these people which are congratulating this person for as their joy of moment. They're just recognizing his effort, his guidance, to that as he is very much pioneer for this work, for this particular migratory water bird conservation. So he's just recognizing his effort. So this effort also supported by Chilka Development Authority to migrate to this for management and also for well-being of this particular local people which are living inside which are conserving this community conserve area. So mechanical boats are provided for monitoring and patrolling of the water birds. So these are like some supports which the city has provided to these people. Some boats are the boats of local contributed boats are also provided, and also for patrolling of this not only in winter season but also in during breeding season also, when like in monsoon. Mechanical boats are also given for protecting of the species, for guiding of the water birds. Apart from that, construction of boating jetty, watchtowers, and also visitors waiting centers, toilets. These are also some developmental work has been done at that particular site, as well as plantation also done by some in both side of the road for the for the land birds also. These are some views from the Mangalajodi areas, Mangalajodi community so CD has built that jetty as well as these visiting centers and SOC for the well-being of this particular of this community. Here you can see that watchtower as well as from the other constructions like toilets. So due to for this conservation, for this particular effort, this particular organization Mangalajodi Pakhi Suraksha Samiti is awarded for several awards, for several recommendations. That is Pakshibandhu Puraskar, Biju Patnaik Award for Wildlife Conservation, as well as first National Chilka Bird Festivals Award, as well as so many recognition has given to this team for the brilliant work in the wildlife conservation as well as in the migratory water bird conservations. So this is a particular effort which is which has been done by the particular person Nandakishore Bhujabala, which just now coming out as a movement. This this knowledge not only he's acting for the conservation of the migratory water birds. These people are just transferring this knowledge for the next generations. So many young people are joining to this movements as they know this is the beautiful bird tourism center, and we can generate income from this. That's why people are joining with him and joining to this movement, joining to the Mangalajodi Mahabir Pakhi Suraksha Samiti for conserving water birds. So as I said, this is the so many photographs of their how they are recognizing their efforts are recognizing by government and several social organizations for the conserving of wetland birds. Apart from that, this Mangalajodi community conserved areas still facing so many threats. So many works next has to be done for the community. Despite of few people which are really engaged inside the bird community in bird tourism, still so many people are there which are hunting birds and trapping birds. They are just applying poisons to the flowers of lily, and as these are beautiful, as these are the best food for the birds like gadwals, pintails, coots. So birds are coming, and when birds are eating them, then after that they're just dying. So it's like so many people are involved in this business also. Despite of that, still forest department are highly active in this range, particularly in Tangi range. Forest department is highly acting as active to trap them, to file case against them. So apart from that, aquaculture ponds. So people are just trying to generate income from monoculture of catla species, like so many catfishes. So they're creating aquaculture ponds, which destroying bird habitat, also decreasing in the population of water bird, decreasing the habitat of for the water bird. Therefore, aquaculture ponds are now becoming new threats for this Mangalajodi ecotourism, Mangalajodi community conserve area. Then, as we said, everything means there is a proverb in Sanskrit that ati sarvatra gahritam, means everything which is more than enough is really harmful. So unsustainable tourism, there is no way to control their boating, no way to control the flow of tourism. So that's why that is creating a problem. It's like birds are continuously disturbing there. That's why year to year, their population is gradually decreasing, like all other areas inside the Mangalajodi wetland. And in summer, people put fire in the Phragmites bed, which is damaging the ecosystem and also threatening the summer birds or summer resident birds also. So these are some of threats to the Mangalajodi community conservation.
Hello, Tuhinanshu sir, your mute is, you're on mute. Can you please
Hey,
unmute yourself?
I think Gargi, you can unmute him. By mistake, I have muted him. Sorry for that.
Sorry, sir, I can't unmute Tuhinanshu sir. You have to unmute yourself. I can only mute people in the meeting.
Yes, sir. You are a co-host, so you can unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry for that.
No, sir, it's not your mistake. It's all right.
Yeah. So actually, hunting and, as I said, hunting and trappings are the new threats to the Mangalajodi wetland, and so many threats like aquaculture ponds, which are coming out for generating easy income. So they are converting this wetland to the ponds for cultivating species like catfishes and other like which is so they are applying just chemicals, other fertilizers for their growth. That's why it is really, and these waters are alternatingly going to the wetland also, which is poisoning the waters of the wetland and as well as Chilka Lake. That's why these aquaculture ponds are the new threats for this Mangalajodi wetland. Apart from that, as I said, unsustainable tourism. This is the picture I have taken. How people are coming during the New Year to celebrate New Year Eve. So this is, you can see the full of cars, bikes, full of means. So it is really disturbing migratory water birds. So you can see, due to their sound, their noise pollution, birds are not roaming nearer to the wetland and nearer to the they're just leaving the wetland to another area, another nearest area. Apart from that, another threat to the Mangalajodi is fire at Phragmites bed. In summer, people are just putting fires in the Phragmites bed, so which is really threat for the migratory vertebrates. Summer visitor as well as resident birds. As well as the vulnerable, I know it is a home of vulnerable fishing cat also. So it is really a new threat coming. This is not for anything. It is just for fun. They are putting fire, Phragmites bait. So these are some of really threats to the Mangalajodi community conserve areas. So this is all about my presentation and all about my talk today. That is the community conservation areas at Chilka wetland. I would like to acknowledge all these persons for supporting me during this research and supporting me for collecting data also. Thank you all. So Gargi, I'm finished. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would just like to thank Mr. Tuhinanshu sir for giving such an informative session, especially shedding light on the community conservation areas in Chilika and about the story of from poachers to protectors in Mangala Jodi. It was really amazing to see how these people who used to hunt these birds are now they have become guides and they are taking people for birding and helping conserve the area. And I hope everybody has enjoyed the webinar and the informative session. Please, you can drop your question and answer. Sorry, for the questions, you can drop it in the chat box. I will attend the questions and I will ask the speaker to attend the questions as and when they come in the chat box. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, go on.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes. Please, sir.
Sir, wetlands are being converted into some aquaculture and other business purpose. Yes,
Ha, ha.
you.
Yes.
So wetlands has its own value. For it helps some insects to breed there and increase their family members, and which
Yes.
becomes food for the migratory birds also.
Yes.
So, is it not a violation of the norms of woodlands?
Yes, yes. That's why Chilka Development Authority as well as local administration officers are just they're removing these illegal dairies or illegal wetlands, aquaculture from that particular area. Actually, this particular area, there is a problem in Mangalajodi community, Mangalajodi wetland. This is not coming under area of Chilka Development Authority, like something is not. Coming inside Chilka. But still, local the administrative officers like tahsildars or also as well as persons which are administrating that particular area, so they are removing this wetland, this aquaculture ponds. Still, there is so many aquaculture ponds are there, which we have to be removed.
Actually, you mentioned also that they are applying some poisonous
Ha, ha,
chemicals.
ha. Yes.
That is also hampering towards the migratory birds.
Yeah, that's why migratory birds are actually dying. I have shown a photograph that migratory birds are there, which are died because of poisoning. So
Okay.
they are applying. Still, people actually, though community conservations are going on, they are now generating income. Still, people
Okay.
are so many people are there which are not understanding or they're just for few money. They're just applying poison to their just poisoning to the bird.
Yes, sir. When you are giving some research papers in these directions and giving some suggestions to the government
Yeah.
to act in this manner, do they hit to you or not? Uh, do they honor your research paper or not?
Sorry.
Whenever you are giving any research paper in this regard and giving some suggestion to the government regarding this process, do they uh, honor this research paper and take some preventive measure or not? Only business
No, no,
purpose
no.
it is
It's
used.
they are taking preventive measures. They are removing, and those which are illegal, their government is also working to remove. Also, there is order of High Court also, which is Honorable High Court of Odisha.
Okay.
So, just they are also putting efforts to remove them. They are implementing. It's
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We have few questions. I will ask them to you, sir, to Inanshu, sir. You can answer as and when. So Shivani is asking, can you please elaborate what are phragmite beds and also what are the type of plantations done under conservation in that area?
Phragmites are also like grass species. So those are full name is Phragmites carca. These are like grass and particularly known as Nala. So it is coming under, I just forgot his family. So it's a particular grass species. And what are the other plantations which are made? Plantations like many fruiting trees, as well as some trees like um, that Achu, I just forgot its botanical name or something. So these are some plantation as done by, as you know, forest department people are doing, and other for not for migratory bird, not for conserving migratory bird. They're just putting that that plants for the conservation of for fruiting for the frugivorous birds of the terrestrial birds. That's their planting.
Okay. Thank you. And I think somebody in the chat, Deba Devrata Das, has mentioned that the grass comes under family poaceae. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And the next question is, what are people's participation efforts under the Chilika Wetland Conservation and Management? This is asked by Dr. Vikas Pal Singh.
Sorry. Can
What
you
are
repeat the
people's
question?
participation efforts under the Chilika Wetland Conservation and Management? Like, what are people doing from their side to conserve and manage the area?
Actually, those which are involving in as working as bird guide, they are monitoring. They are regularly monitoring. They are regularly not only in winter. Winter, as if they know to conserve the value of bird. So they are not only monitoring the bird inside in winter. They are also monitoring the bird in the non-breeding, like breeding seasons or like monsoon. As there are so many resident birds which are breeding in breeding during the time of rain, during the time of rainy season. So they are not only breeding, so they are also protecting those birds also. They are regularly monitoring. They are regularly giving information to us also. They are giving information to management also when people are poaching and where people are going to poach or then going to hunt. So these are like some working what their people are going to people are doing there, as well as they're also, as I said, they're also teaching the next generation the value of bird. If you kill the bird, you will get only some 100 rupees, but if you will see them, if you will show them to the tourist, they will happily give you 2000 rupees. Like and you will just imagine a particular they are now splitting into three groups. Actually, I just forgot to say it. They are just splitting into the three groups, and in these three groups more than 70 people are engaging as a bird guide. So 70 people and more than 30 boats per day. They are just they are boating inside the Mangalajodi area in a particular day. So this means you just imagine how much they are just in generating income, particularly in a winter season. So they just know the value. That's why they are protecting their. I think this community conservation area is particularly for the for their livelihood, for protecting their livelihood and for protecting the migrate for their own livelihood. That's why own income also. That's why they are spontaneously protecting this area.
Okay, thank you.
So basically, these are like guardians of that area.
Okay, so Gargi Mishra and Bilal Biswas, I will come to you. Before that, I have one question that is on the chat box. What you were talking, Pinanshu sir, earlier about the aquaculture pond, Mr. Anand is asking that rather than stopping them or asking them to stop their business, can you not? Are there any efforts to help these local people to turn this kind of aquaculture into organic or a bit non-invasive kind of farming method? Anything like that? Can that be done?
Actually, these are government land. So everything doing without permission of government. The government is not giving permission. So they are just, and these are rich people which are doing this aquaculture business. These are not local people, or these are not like common men or low income people. They are just rich people which doing this, doing their business to income, to generate more income. So yeah, alternative livelihood option is there. They can, but we can suggest them, no issues. But this is a, I mean, illegal practice. This is just to generate few incomes. Thank you.
Okay, Gargi Mishra ji, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank Hinansu sir for this wonderful presentation. Actually, I have one query whether it's related to his research work or not. I don't know, but still I'm a little bit inquisitive. That's why I'm asking. Sir, in 2001, the opening of a new sea mouth to the Bay of Bengal had some direct impact on the biophysical processes of Chilka, right?
Yeah, yes.
Are they positive or negative? My question is, did those biophysical processes affected the bird population in Chilka Lake in somehow or the other?
Yeah, that very good question. Thank you, Gagi ma'am, for this question. Actually, so here is the, when we just opening a new mouth. So that means though that old mouth is just choked.
Okay.
Just choked because of siltation or something. So that is just opening of new mouth to for entering into the saline water. Actually, Chilka is not a freshwater lake. As I said before, Chilka is not a freshwater lake.
Yeah.
So it is a saline water as well as mix of saline water as well as freshwater water. And that is a unique combination of brackish water. So that it needs the to maintain particularly salinity of the lake, to conserve that biodiversity, particularly to maintain the biodiversity of Chilka Lake. So it is obviously it is positive. There is a positive impact on it. Otherwise, so that NIC, so I just forgot the NIT or some people which are involved in this, so which are suggesting to open a artificial mouth or something.
Okay.
So it's that means there is a positive impact. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I think Biplab Vishwas sir has raised his hand, so you can ask the question, sir. Biplab Vishwas.
I think by mistake he has raised his hand.
Okay, then there was one more person called Jesslyn Peter. Do you want to also ask the question, ma'am? As of now,
No,
we do
it
not
was a
have.
mistake. Sorry, it was a mistake.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay.
So as of now, that's all we have. Does anybody else have a question? So you can please raise your hand, or we still have 5 minutes left. You can drop the question in the chat box if you want. Okay, we have another question. It's called, what is Montreux's record?
Yeah, Montreux's record is particularly it's a tag for the dying lake, which are polluted or just no more biodiverse lake wetland. So it is just for to tag those particularly tag those wetland. It is used Montreux's record.
Sir, can I ask one more question?
Yes, please.
Why woolly neck stocks numbers are declining day by day?
Yeah, that is coming under my work. Thank you for asking related to bird. Actually, I'm not working on community conservation, but I am working on birds. So it's actually woolly neck stork is not common for Odisha or for Chilka. So it is rare. Always, it's a rare species. It is so very few sightings are so far. since last 5 years, since last 5 years, there is very rare species, very rare sightings are there of woolly neck stock, and it's really unusual. So
Okay.
it's occasionally migrating to the lake. It's not about that ecologically we are not providing habitat or something. It is some species which are really like you can say Asian Deutscher, which is really a good in numbers in the eastern coast of India and particularly in Chilka Lake, but is really uncommon to the Asiatic, to the western coast or coast of Gujarat, like something. So it is really rare. Like it's a particular behavior, something. So it's as you can assume that it is a particularly numbers are it's rare to Chilka Lake. Yeah.
Okay, that means less number of birds are migrating to Chilka Lake, right?
Yes, particularly. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have one more question. I think we'll make it as the last. Mr. Anand is asking that trawler fishing kills many turtles. So, in the nearby seas, is this fishing or turtle deaths have any adverse secondary effects on the birds of Chilka?
Sorry, can you repeat this question, Gargi?
I think he's asking trawler fishing is killing many turtles and it's resulting to turtle death. So does that have any adverse secondary effects on the Chilka birds? I think trawlers for fishing. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Trawlers, actually, trawlers are not allowed in Chilka Lake. But yes, you can see so many mechanical boats using Yamaha engines or like Lompatin engines. So it's not particularly affecting bird population, as you see. As you can see that, but more than 1 million since last 5 years, more than 10 lakhs bird we are reporting every year. So it's not means more than 10 lakhs, and so it's not actually it's not affecting any troll. Yes, if you are particularly if you are trying to affect those birds intentionally, then it may affect, or it may or otherwise it is not affecting. We are also using mechanical boats. It is not possible to use wooden boat everywhere or contribute boats inside the Chilka. We are also using mechanical boat for our research purposes also. It's not affecting.
Okay, thank you. I think Andrea has raised her hand. We'll make this as the last question. Is there someone called Andriana who has raised her hand? Okay, it was by mistake. No worries. So, thank you everybody for patiently listening and for also thanking Mr. Tunanshu again for giving such a wonderful presentation. Even I myself didn't know a lot of things. I got to learn so many things. And I hope you all also liked it. We have put the feedback form in the chat box, and also I have put a link to our BNHS NVIS website. You can check the work that is being done, and also you can anytime send us any queries regarding avian ecology, and we'll try to answer it for you. So thank you everyone for today's webinar. I hope you all liked it, and we'll surely come up with some new webinars in the future related to different topics and environmental days. Thank you.
Thank you, Tuinanshu sir.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, Gargi, for this opportunity, and entire team. I would like to thank you all and listening patiently. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you, once again. Thank you, Gargi ma'am. Thank you, Nandkishore sir and Tuinanshu sir.
Thank you.
Bye.